And it's Ken Kreitzer for CBSI Services coming to you from the headquarters of our company in Harrison, New York. We have a special guest with us today, Tim Askew, who is the founder of Corporate Rain. Had a long career in the entertainment business, also in sales development, and a writer for Inc. magazine. Tim, good to see you.
Oh, good to see you, Ken. Good to see you again.
Pleasure. And Tim, as I mentioned, you've got a career in a number of fields in the entertainment business, and then you switched into corporate sales development. Tell us a little bit about your career for our audience.
Well, I failed at a lot of things before I started my company. I kind of accidentally fell into it. I have no background in either business or sales. And I created a successful sales company, which is, strangely enough, not a bad background for an entrepreneur, I think, because entrepreneurs tend to be oddballs, and I certainly was. But I finally found success in that. But among other things, I started out to be a minister, a professor, something good like that, and then I became an actor. I'm not going to go into the details of all this, and I was an actor for about 10 years. I was on Broadway in a couple of plays, and I was on a soap opera called Another World, long gone. And and I did a lot of stuff. Mostly, I was unemployed, and eventually, I just decided it wasn't what my life to be. And I tried to become an opera singer. I wasn't good enough, and I tried to become a Broadway producer, and I lost a lot of money. And finally, I just kind of accidentally, a CEO who I knew asked me to do some work for him, and with very high-end type people, involving tens of millions of dollars, and I took it on. I had no sales experience. In fact, I kind of loathed the idea of sales, which is, what's that like? Deals, used car sales type things. But Glengarry Glen Ross. But I was very good at it, and I had no background in sales or business, but I was very good at doing this high level thing, and I did very well for this guy. So he started passing me around to his CEO friends, and I just would work individually for them. And eventually I kept raising my prices, and they just got too much for me. So I started hiring people. I created a company that Wall Street Journal, it was called Corporate Rain, and several years ago the Wall Street Journal rated us the number one boutique sales outsourcer in the world. But anyway, it's been a really good life. The greatest joy for me in being an entrepreneur is just the fact that it gives you a chance to develop personally, to be free, to develop as a whole person, to create an ambiance where you can gather around you a cadre of like-minded people that make you a better person, as well as serve the world, ideally.
Absolutely. Well, I think you're a little self-deprecating, but you've had a lot of success. And you have over 150 articles contributed to Inc. magazine, I noted, and quite a few this spring, early summer. And one of the ones that certainly caught my attention is you wrote about the role of luck, which we hear about in sports quite a bit. But what we always hear coaches, and you hear about this in a lot of businesses, being ready for opportunity. When opportunity presents itself, being prepared to make the most of it. And some will call that being lucky, but a lot of us think about it just being ready for when the opportunity emerges. Tell us about that article.
Yeah, my theory, I don't think people give luck enough of what's the word? I think luck is key to life, period, for everything. But in business, and particularly entrepreneurship, I think luck has a lot to do with success. I do. I mean, and the way you have luck is by becoming yourself. I believe that authenticity leads to luck. Authenticity, telling the truth, is another way of describing authenticity. And because then you will be rejected for what you are, but what you really are, and you should be rejected for that. Like if you're in some sales function, we all are in some way or another. But when you're accepted, you'll be accepted for who you really are. You will find the kind of colleagues you need, the kind of clients you need, and you need to find the right kind of luck, and you do that by being real. Then the right people will find you for the right reasons, and that's my theory about luck. Basically, I remember once I bumped into a neighbor of mine on the Metro North. I was going from New Rochelle into Manhattan, and I'd known this guy for years, and just in the neighborhood, and started talking to him, and I just it came up that he was in charge of all of Australia's companies moving to the U.S., and he was desperate to find somebody who could serve as an outsourced sales function for him, particularly with high-level people, which is what my company did. I said, "Wow," and I told him what I did and so on. He had me in front of 9 CEOs 2 days after that, and 3 of them became clients, and it just started with just laughing and being open to you know, things that I was interested in talking about, and he was about the neighborhood. And I think if you just keep yourself open like that, luck can come into your life. It's just creating the space for it.
Absolutely. I think we always find the more we interact, some of the different trade organizations that we participate in, and being able to tell the story and people being aware of what it is that you do and how you add value to your clients all creates opportunities for referrals. And we always are looking for that. It's been part of our success here at CBSI. You have some terrific articles out on sales training, I would say. One of which is something we always say here is listen to your clients, listen to your prospects for what they need. We have a saying my boss, Bob Conti, always says, listen with 2 ears and speak with 1 mouth. And that is so important, to listen for what a client or a prospect needs to get done that you may have a solution for. Tell us about some of your thoughts on that article you contributed to Dink Magazine.
Well, yeah, I that's another thing I don't think people talk about enough. And now with all the groaning bookcases of sales books, I think silence is very useful in sales. John Cage, who is an avant-garde, well, he's dead now, but an avant-garde composer, said there is no such thing as a silence. And I think after you basically do your initial things, just basically say who you are and so on. I think listening is key, and trying to figure out what people really need, not what you need or even what you want to sell. And I tell you one technique I use. This sounds stupid, but I give up before I go in. As I say, give up. I'm going to have no business here. I just want to meet this person. I want to know this person. I want to be real with this person. It's an opportunity to learn something from me. And I mean, of course, you have to say what you do. You're there for a business reason, but still, it's. And I think what it leads to is an immediate sort of sense of equality. And you're talking about real things right away, and so it's not a beseecher and a buyer. It's just 2 people talking about what's going on and what the issues are and why they're that way. So I think silence is something to be cultivated, an active silence, not a passive one. But anyway.
Tough for me being a radio announcer. I have to always work at that, but listening to your clients and prospects, what they need, is always so important. Now, you had an article out about hiring. Right now, a lot of people leaving colleges, recent graduates, looking for opportunities. Also, with the economy being a little bit better, it's harder to find people with the right skill set. And you quoted Warren Buffett in one of your articles about hiring peers. as being a key to success. Tell us a little bit about that article and your thought there.
Yeah, from the beginning of the time of starting my company, I said I only wanted people that working for me that made me a better person myself, people who could teach me things. But mostly, I wanted to hire people who were better than me. I mean, I was well aware of what my weaknesses are, and that's where I come from as a businessman, just from, from my empty spaces in a way. But I always tried to hire people, again, who were better than me. The main thing that I needed from people was people who shared my values, so that there was a congruity in the whole company from the very beginning on what we valued. And in my case, I just wanted to genuinely have a deep service mentality among all my people, and that's basically what I looked for. Not even sales skills, just pure wish to serve. And so that was the bottom line for me. But I also looked for skills that were better than mine, wherever I could find them.
Absolutely. Now, today actually, as we chat, is Amazon Prime Day. Amazon is tending to dominate retail, where so many entrepreneurs work in such a wide variety of businesses, often on main streets across America. It's such a challenge. But I see, when we talk to small businesses, the need for just relationship building, keeping in touch with your customers, doing the extra bit of service can make the difference. If you're talking to a group of entrepreneurs who own storefront businesses of any type, what are some of the things you'd advise them on trying to stay competitive?
Well, I think you're right. I think you hit right on it. I think that's what they have to do that Amazon or any internet competitor can't compete with. You're going to have to distinguish yourselves by a kind of boutique service tonality. You're going to have to create something that's personal, that has the human touch that can't be competed with online. And I think that's how you do it. Now, I don't know if that's enough for them to maintain the dominant position they've had in the past, but I think anything in the future is going to have to become the differentiator. They're going to have to do it by service.
Absolutely, and
that's the new killer app in a way for retail.
Is service, certainly for banking, which is certainly our mainstay here at CBSI Services for almost 40 years. What else is on your to write about list? Articles or topics that you're interested in for some of your articles for the summer or going into the fall?
Oh, let's see. I want to write an article about fad words. I have a bugaboo about them. I don't like them. Awesome is one of them. I wrote an article once about the word awesome, which I think is a terrible word to use in business because it makes you sound June. It makes you sound immature. But and even if you're a millennial, and it also is a meaningless word. But I'm always looking for words because it's business. Everybody follows lemming-like onto fads. One of them that I've heard lately has begun to annoy me is the word humble. Everybody's always describing how they're humbled. I mean, you just find it everywhere. I think it's people who want to be seen as humble who say that, and and when everybody starts using any term, that's a time to stop using it, because it means you're getting linguistically lazy, I would say, and it makes you less distinct. Anyway, I'm going to write, there's several words like that, and I want to write an article about that. So look out, if you use the word humble, I'm going to write an excoriating article about words like that and how I often find them shallow and hypocritical when they become accepted by the world.
Okay, I got to rewrite an acceptance speech for a broadcasting award we're receiving next month. I'll try to remember that. But Tim Askew, a founder of Corporate Rain, based right near our shell near us in New York, frequent contributor to Inc. magazine. Tell us a bit about the blog that you maintain and how people can sign up for that. I know it's very well read.
My blog's called Making Rain, and it's just about same stuff I've been talking about, all these odd things that go through my mind. And again, business for me is just a way to have personal growth. I write a lot about, just my interior process as an entrepreneur, and share that with people. And, and I've gotten quite a following over the years, which is great because, people write in and they comment and teach me things. And sometimes I don't know what I think until I try to write it down.
Okay, what's the name of the blog? And what?
Making Rain. Making Rain.
Okay, well, we'll look that. We'll put the hyperlink on our caption for this.
I've also written a book called The Poetry of Small Business, if anybody wants something more substantial.
Well, we're going to have to read that as well. Give us some good summer reading. Tim Askew, founder of Corporate Rain, contributor, 150 articles now to Inc. magazine. Great to see you and have you visit here at CBSI Services.
Thanks, Ken. Always a pleasure.
Our pleasure to have you visit. This is Ken Kreitzer from the corporate headquarters of CBSI Services in Harrison, New York, for Talking Business.